Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make your own stick and poke tattoos. As you know, I have plenty of them. Making stick and poke tattoos might seem like something that is hard, and I get a lot of like, whoa, did you make those yourself kind of compliments. And it is actually not that hard. Like, if you get the base of it, I am 100% sure that you will manage to do it if you're like a little bit artsy, like somehow artsy. One disclaimer though is that don't do this if you're below 25 years old, because your brain is not fully developed yet and you'll probably regret everything you do, okay? You want to see something? Would I tattoo this if I was older than 21 years old? I'm not sure. Let's see if I regret everything in 4 years, but here we go. YOLO, you know. Yeah, ask your parents and stuff, or don't. I don't know. We'll just have fun, and in my opinion, we're all white canvases, or black canvases, or brown canvases, or yellow canvases, or whatever. And we need to be covered with something, like something fun. So yeah, I mean, don't take it that hard, but also remember that this is a permanent thing. So you will have to have it the rest of your life. So maybe don't tattoo something stupid. Okay, yeah, that's good. Right, then we're all on the same page. Okay, if you like my content, subscribe and like this video if you like this type of content. I usually do more running related content, but yeah, sometimes I give you guys a little treat. Okay, let's get on to the video, I guess. First thing you need is needles, and buy all the stuff at a tattoo shop, because otherwise you're not going to get totally clean needles. These are like totally clean. They are much easier to tattoo with because they have many needles in one needle. I use 3-point, like 3 needles per needle, but I also have 5-point, and it's still very fine line, but it's easier to begin with, and also I like the style. Also remember to change needles every time you start a new session or every time you tattoo on a new person. It's really important. Next thing you need is ink, and this is also important that you get the right ink. If you don't know the ink, then you should not order it online, and then I would recommend going to a tattoo store. I bought this in a tattoo store. I bought all my things in a tattoo store because I wanted to be sure to get the right stuff, but the most important thing to get in the store is the ink. This is also something you need. It is something to have the ink in, basically. It's also important to change these every time so that they're sterile, and yeah, buy the specific ones, basically. Then you need a sort of band-aid to wrap around the needle so that you get good grip. Then you need Vaseline, and you can use any type of Vaseline. This is just so that the ink doesn't flow out when you tattoo, so it's pretty important. You need a pair of scissors and also a trash bag to put all the papers and stuff. It gets pretty messy. You need some sort of soap. I used green soap. It's the specific tattooing soap, but I've heard from tattoo artists that you can just use any soap that is like sort of specific and not containing something, I don't know, but I just bought it because it's easier. You need this bottle to blend the soap in. It's much easier, and you get everything clean, and yeah, it's specific for the tattooing. Something that is good to have is the sterile water. I tattooed a lot without sterile water before, but then I bought it because I needed to do some shadowing, and that's how you do it, with sterile water. It's also nice to just have everything clean when you make the soap solution. You will also need to shave the area that you are tattooing to see what's going on easier. Otherwise, everything gets stuck in the hair, like the Vaseline and the ink and everything. So it's better to just do it. You will also need paper to dry off the tattoo sometimes when you're going and afterwards and everything. And it's better to use the thicker paper, but toilet paper works all right. Basically, that's all you need for safely making a tattoo. I mean, I had friends that did it with an eyeliner and a needle, and I'm so glad I didn't get blood poisoning. But you can also, if you want to do some nicer tattoos, make it a little bit easier, you can make a design and put it on the copy paper, and then you make a copy on yourself. This makes it much easier. You have something to follow. you know exactly what you're doing. And I'm going to show you exactly how you use copy paper, because it can be a bit tricky, but doesn't have to be. So in that case you need a little bit more stuff, but it is 100% worth it in my opinion, because you can make much cooler tattoos.
If you decide to use copy paper, you need some more stuff. Obviously, first thing is copy paper, and I will show you how it works later. And then you need this gel. It's to put the copy from the paper over to your skin. And just a tip, if you put the copy wrong and want to remove it, don't remove it with the soap. Remove it with the disinfection or some alcohol, because it works much better. Then you need pen and paper and maybe an iPad, depends how you want to do it. It can also be good to have some sort of gloves, but you can also wash your hands. And guys, there we have it. This is all you need to safely make a home tattoo.
So the first thing that you need to do when making a tattoo is to actually figure out what to tattoo, and I haven't decided that yet today. So you can either just sketch in a book. I did that in the beginning, and I have a lot of tattoos that I just sketched from the book, like this for example. It's a sort of just like draw your own tattoo. And now I've actually moved on to drawing my tattoos on the iPad, because I get like a sort of cleaner cut, and I don't know, I can just make cleaner lines with it. And I have done one tattoo on the iPad, but that's about it. You can also like make your own tattoos from other pictures. I can show you what picture this was from the beginning. This was a picture like this, and I made it, I used the same proportions, and then I made this out of it to make it like tattooable. I'll just quickly show you how you can use an iPad, for example, or a computer in this kind of situation, and then we will go on to the next steps.
What you're going to do is that you're going to go into your drawing program. I use Procreate, and then you're going to draw something. I put together this template that if you DM me on Instagram, I can send it to you if you like the sort of beach vibes, surfing vibes kind of style. Then you're going to put the screen light to a max, and then you take a piece of paper and you put it on top of the screen. You can do this with any screen. You can do it with the computer screen. So if you want the template that I have made and DM me on Instagram and I send it to you, you can put it up on the computer screen and just make it the size you want. And now, as you see, I made it too big, so I just make it smaller. As you see, I make the details separately because I feel like it gets more dynamic that way, and then I try my template. But I feel like on this arm I don't have enough funny tattoos, so I drew this like really long ago. I had it in my drawer for so long. It says peace out, like you get it? You guys get it? Then I made sure that I liked the placement and how it balanced with the other tattoos. And then I grabbed my copy paper. As you see, it has like one copy part and one brown part and one white part, and I cut a fitting piece, and then I take out the brown part because it's just a protecting layer so that the white part doesn't get ruined. And then I put my template over the white part, and this is something I have figured out that works better, because then it doesn't get mirrored. Because if you do it the other way around like you're supposed to do, it gets mirrored. But I don't know why you do it the other way around when you can just do it this way. So yeah, then you need to make sure that you get all the lines, otherwise it is going to be bad, because then you don't know. And then like skip some details, like you don't need everything because this is just a template. And then you need to be very careful with this and not touch it.
Something that is also good to know is that when you draw the template over to the copy paper, you need to play around a little bit with the pressure of the pen, because if you do it too hard, then yeah, it gets too much ink is not good, and if you don't do it enough, it gets too little, and you need a hard surface underneath. So just try. It can be a little bit tricky in the beginning. Then you take some Vaseline and place it on a piece of paper. It is the one you use, and you don't go back into the Vaseline jar with your tattooing hands, because that can create bacteria. And then you take a piece of the Band-Aid and put around the needle so that you get more grip.
One little tip that I figured out along the way is to put a little bit of Vaseline underneath the little ink thing so that it doesn't slip. It's just a little tip. And then you fill up the whole thing with ink. Don't try to save the ink because it dries out, it becomes harder to tattoo, and also you are not going to use that much ink, so the little bottle will last you until it goes bad. And then I just blended it out with a little bit of distilled water because just to make it a little bit smoother, but you don't have to do that. It's just because my ink is a little bit old. But yeah, change out your ink, guys. It's very important. It is good to change out your ink once a year anyway, and then you clean the area and shave it and clean it again. And then you put a thin layer of the green gel, not too thick because then it will mess everything up. And then you put on the copy paper. Remember to put the side down that you have the copy on so that it sticks. Can be easy to forget if you're a little bit stressed. And then you place it exactly how you want it. And then you wait for a little bit and then you gently take it off. And this one actually turned out really good from the start. Sometimes they turn out really bad and you have to redo it and do the alcohol and do the whole process again, but that's just a part of it, so I was pretty lucky with this one. Then before you start, you dry it off a little bit. It's going to fade during the tattoo, but it's pretty durable. And then you put some Vaseline, and you need to put Vaseline every time you have dried it off. And then you start poking, and you just need to try what works. Different areas of the body hurt different much. It's different like how you tattoo and how hard you need to poke. So you can dry it off a little bit, try a little bit and see how much ink is going in. And if it's not enough, just poke a little bit harder and it will probably work. And with the details, you can dry it off like every second. I usually, when there are small details like this is a very hard tattoo to make actually. It has a lot of small details. One rule anyway is that you should have the needle 45 degrees because then it comes into the skin that you want it, and it shouldn't bleed. Like if it bleeds a little bit, it's fine, but it shouldn't bleed much, you know. So in that case, poke lighter or try a different angle. Most times you need to go over it like 2 or 3 times. On the arm it can be more times because it hurts more and you automatically go a bit lighter on the poke. So it's not wrong if you need to go over it like 8 times, especially not your first time when you're a little bit, am I doing it right, you know? So yeah, just go over it, and if it hurts too much, you can also just let it heal a little bit, and after a few weeks you go over it again, and you just need to make sure that you see where you went over it so that you don't go with a half done tattoo that you don't see what is going on. But anyway, it is pretty easy. It doesn't hurt as much as a normal tattoo, like far from it. For me, I'm a little bit scared of needles and I think this is fine. This is how it turned out. This is by far the tattoo with the smallest details that I've ever made, so it looks a little bit pokey right now. I think I'm going to go over it more times, but also, as I will explain later, when it heals it gets more clear. So yeah, here are my other tattoos, and that's what they're going to turn out to look like. The boat is like halfway healed, so you see how the van is fully healed, and the other ones were like this from the beginning, so it's not strange that they look like this. And yeah, that is how you make the tattoo. I will explain some things now. When you're done with the tattoo, there might still be a little bit blue from the photo paper if you use the photo paper, and that is completely fine. That will fade in a couple of days. Be a little bit on the careful side with the tattoo because you have the tattoo kit and it is pretty easy to set up and everything, so you can go over it again. The cool thing with stick and poke tattoos is that the stick and poke tattoos, they get stronger over time. So when they heal, they look more, I don't know, they look much stronger than when you finished it last time. So if you give it like 1 week or 2, you will see that the stick and poke tattoo actually got much stronger. I mean, with the normal tattoo gun, it is
usually the opposite way around, so then it looks much stronger when you got it and then it fades over weeks. But with the stick and poke it's the opposite. It will be hard to get the sharp lines from the start, but as it heals you will see that it gets sharper and sharper. So as you see with mine here, it will get exactly as strong as the other ones, but it looks so much weaker than the other ones, which is kind of cool. That is something to think about. Don't stress over it too much, and if it is too weak for your preference, go over it again when the tattoo has healed or whatever, because you have the kit there, you know. So how do you take care of this stick and poke tattoo then? So the thing with stick and poke tattoos is that it is different from a normal tattoo. With the stick and poke tattoo, you just tattoo them, like you don't go as deep and you don't scar as much as with another type of tattoo. And because you don't like injure the skin and injure everything as much, it heals much quicker. So usually the outer layer heals in the span of a couple of days, and then you can see it continuing to heal or to get stronger or whatever is happening. I'm not sure, but like for 2 weeks or so. You can follow normal recommendations like washing it, putting some Vaseline on it, depends how big you make it. But small tattoos like this, it is actually not that necessary to do much. Like wash it a little bit, you know. I will just act like nothing happened, and that's so cool with the stick and poke tattoos. Like if you're surfing, for example, you don't need to wait for so long before you can go into the water again. And when it comes to second skin, so I have something that is called second skin that you can put on top of the tattoo, but actually in my opinion the tattoo fades, like sort of fades when you use second skin, because it's already in the healing process where you shouldn't use second skin because you didn't destroy it completely. So I would not use second skin. When you use these small needles, it's not a tattoo that will leak, like, so you don't have to be careful with the clothes and stuff. I have one stick and poke tattoo, this one, where she used like very big needles. I haven't done that on myself, but then I think that there is a potential that it can leak, so that is something to think about. Other than that, good luck. We will all look like a school bench when we're done with this stuff, and yeah, I hope you liked this video, I hope you liked this video and found it interesting. And if you try, maybe send me some pictures, like DM me on Instagram or something. I will also give out the template, this one here. DM me on Instagram if you want it and I will send it. That is basically everything for this video. Like and subscribe if you like this type of content. If you have any questions, I will answer them down below, or if you don't want to ask publicly, DM me on Instagram. Bye! Don't be shrimpy, you got this! Bloopers! Hey and welcome to another video. So I wanted to make this video professional. It will look strange. Could it look stranger? The way I am like really professional and stuff. Da, 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 da. Hello. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I should just like keep it unprofessional and just live with it.